Friday night, your phone buzzes, an invitation from friends. You glance over at the couch where your dog lifts its head and a quiet negotiation begins in your mind. You know you should probably go out, but the thought of just staying here feels deeply, undeniably right. So you text back a polite excuse, feeling that familiar mix of profound comfort and just a little bit of social guilt. After all, your real reason for staying in can feel complicated to explain. You find yourself trying to explain it, maybe to your friend Mulher Dentes Grandes, or even just to yourself. He has a very demanding nap schedule, and we're working through some pretty complex feelings about the mailman. You joke that it's a critical cuddle window that simply can't be missed. But behind the humor, what if that feeling isn't silly at all? This isn't about being antisocial or flaky. It's a pull, a powerful biological signal that your brain is receiving. This connection has a specific architecture rooted in hormones and coevolution. And once you understand the science behind that feeling, you can finally give yourself permission to see it not as a fault, but as a strength. To understand that pull, we need to look at a serious field of study called anthrozoology. It's not just one thing, it's a convergence of neurochemistry, evolutionary biology, and core psychology. We're talking about the precise architecture of the oxytocin feedback loop, the tens of thousands of years of human-dog coevolution, and the deep-seated principles of attachment theory. This isn't just a preference, it's a complex biochemical and psychological reality. But the science only raises a bigger question. Why does this bond sometimes feel even more straightforward and secure than our human ones? So the core issue isn't the love you feel, it's the friction, that quiet confusion. What is the specific architecture behind a connection that can feel so simple yet so profound? Scientists have a name for a crucial piece of this architecture, the Oxytocin-Gaze positive loop. This isn't just a vague idea. It's a specific measurable process validated by a landmark 2015 study in the journal Science. Researchers set out to isolate what happens on a chemical level inside both you and your dog during one incredibly simple everyday interaction. Researchers measured hormone levels as owners simply gazed into their dog's eyes. The results were astounding. Oxytocin, the love hormone, spiked significantly in both the human and the dog. But when they ran the same test with human-raised wolves, that same biochemical surge was almost completely absent. It proves the connection is real, but it raises a deeper question. How did they learn to do that? It's because that gaze doesn't just create a feeling, it hijacks one of the most ancient and powerful bonding systems we have, the one between a mother and her newborn infant. Over thousands of years, dogs didn't just learn our commands. They evolved to tap directly into the fundamental architecture of human love, using a look as a kind of master key. Think of our human relationships as intricate symphonies. They're built on a shared language of history, inside jokes, and complex emotional chords that take years to compose. A dog's gaze bypasses all of that. It's not a symphony, it's a single perfect note. It doesn't need translation because it resonates with a part of our architecture that predates language, making the connection feel incredibly pure. But this powerful chemical shortcut is only half the story. It opens the door, but what deep psychological need are we seeking on the other side? That chemical rush explains the intensity of the bond, but to understand the full role it plays in our lives, we have to look past the chemistry. The answer lies in a cornerstone of psychology, attachment theory. Picture Muller Dents Grands walking through her door after a draining day. The internal monologue isn't just, "I'm tired." It's a deeper pull. I just need to see my dog. This is the search for a secure base, a safe haven, a presence that promises immediate comfort without asking for anything in return. And this psychological architecture is well documented. Studies in journals like Anthrozoology confirm that the attachment styles we form with our dogs, be they anxious, avoidant, or secure, often mirror our human relationships. This validates the entire bond as a legitimate part of our inner world. But what is it that dogs provide that makes this particular attachment feel so uniquely safe? The psychologist Carl Rogers gave this feeling a name, unconditional positive regard. It's a state of complete, non-judgmental acceptance, and it's something dogs offer effortlessly. They don't care about the promotion you missed or the mistake you made. They just offer a clean, uncomplicated connection. So let's reframe that choice. You're not avoiding people. You're seeking psychological safety. This isn't social failure. It is an act of profound self-care. Now, just for a moment, contrast that feeling. With the complex texture of our human world, it's a landscape of subtle cues, unspoken expectations, and the very real possibility of judgment. Against that backdrop, the quiet, uncomplicated presence of your dog can feel like a sanctuary. But that deep sense of relief often comes with a nagging question. Is this connection truly real, or are we just projecting? And let's be clear, yes, a part of this is anthropomorphism. We project our own rich narratives onto them. But to say that's all it is ignores the science. Remember that oxytocin spike? That happened inside your dog, too. It wasn't a projection, it was a shared biochemical event. This isn't a one-way street of human emotion. It's a biological dialogue. This forces us to debunk the core myth that it's just a dog. The bond isn't a lesser version of human love, it's a different texture of connection. It runs on an operating system that bypasses words, accessing a primal form of understanding written long before language. This is the result of a 30,000-year partnership. Dogs became masters of our most honest language, learning to read the slump in our posture, the subtle shift in our tone, the scent of our stress. They evolved to understand the human, not just the human's words. And what does it say about a person who is so fluent in this silent language? It suggests you have a particular emotional architecture. In fact, studies consistently show that people who identify strongly with dogs also tend to score higher in traits like agreeableness and empathy. This profound capacity for connection isn't a simple preference, it's a reflection of who you are. And this way of being doesn't just shape your relationships, it measurably shapes your well-being. This isn't just a vague feeling of happiness. The data shows it: lower cortisol, reduced blood pressure, and better cardiovascular outcomes. Your dog isn't just a companion, they are an active partner in your wellness. This relationship is a biological engine actively improving your physical and mental health. The science makes it clear this bond is a profound asset. So knowing this, how do we reframe that initial moment of guilt? This understanding isn't a license to hide from the world, but a tool for self-compassion. It starts by consciously changing the story you tell yourself in that moment of choice. So instead of the thought, I'm being flaky, try this reframe. I am tending to a vital relationship that supports my well-being. This isn't a justification, it's an accurate description. You are actively managing your stress and engaging a biological system proven to improve your health. It's a conscious choice to recharge. But this simple act of reframing forces a much deeper, more confrontational question. Why should a relationship this pure ever require a defense? The only thing that requires a defense is the absurd, unwritten rule that love comes in a ranked hierarchy. That quiet shame you feel is the echo of a judgment that was never yours. So let's be perfectly clear. Any relationship that gives you unconditional safety and comfort is not just valid, it's essential. This isn't a quirky preference to be explained away. It is a core part of your psychological architecture. You are not just a dog person, you are fluent in a pre-verbal language of connection. It is a healthy, logical, and beautiful expression of your profound capacity for compassion. And maybe, in its simplicity, it teaches us something fundamental about connection itself. In a world of complex signals, perhaps this simple bond isn't an escape. It's a reminder of our most basic truth, that to be seen without judgment is to be truly home. After seeing the science that proves this bond is a biological engine for health, why do we still feel the need to defend it? Answer in the comments below. I read and reply to every single one. That's just one hidden pattern our minds follow. In our next video, we'll expose why some of us are biologically wired to only perform under crushing pressure. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the truth. Like this video and share it with someone who needs this.